It has been 19 days since the Cataclysm, yet the old world feels like a distant memory. Vellum has come a long way from a cowering and confused apprentice in his old master's basement to the sole occupant of a towering magical academy. His power grows daily, and his skill and knowledge with it. Welcome back to Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead. I'm Areima, and this is the journey of Vellum. Today is one of the first days that Vellum has awoken since the Cataclysm, where we're not actually sure what needs to be done. There aren't any pressing concerns. We come over here, we can see that we actually have a decent amount of food. We have water. We have a great source of water. We have shelter. We have solved the basic needs. And we've also solved one of our stronger desires to have a place to study, to learn, and to craft. But we don't really feel safe here yet. So we are going to actually start today by clearing out some of all of the riffraff and zombies we saw nearby as sort of an expenditure of our mana and some practice to boot. So we're going to go ahead and equip that recurve bow, and we're going to step outside and see what this condition outside is. Oh, hey, it looks like our traps managed to get quite a few zombies out here. We're already seeing some more as well. Go ahead and turn off safe mode, crush these zombies down, make sure that none of these can get back up. We do have these Saharasaurus zombies still. Take that one out. Get a absolutely massive 80 damage critical hit. Completely unnecessary. It does look like most of the stuff out here is pretty badly damaged, but there is a lot of it out here. So we want to try and clear out as much of this as possible. Actually, we can just go ahead and fire right away at the zombie dinosaur because it's just so big. We get multiple arrows into it, but on top of being huge, it's also pretty hefty as far as health goes. And you know, we're landing arrow after arrow into this thing, and finally it goes down. Jeez. These things are the real concern I have around here. Go ahead and crush that thing down. And we're going to take a few moments here, and this is basically what we're going to be doing. We're just going to try and clear out our neighbors, as it were, and make sure that if we do start making some noise from construction or study, that we don't have anything immediately on our doorstep. What is an Apatosaurus? Long-necked, four-legged dinosaur with long whip-like tail. Okay, so it's another saurian type. We sort of almost want them to see us so that while we're aiming, they get closer to us. You know? It's kind of an ideal thing because we can steady up here and then kind of guarantee that we get a very good shot. We don't need antidepressants. Caffeinated chew gum's not bad, though. We will be looking out for better bows in the future. Ideally, like a composite bow would be probably one of the best bows that we could get that Vellum would still enjoy. It might be a modern take on it whenever we find one, but it is a classical bow. Find a composite bow, and compared to like compound bows, which have obvious marks of modern human technology, composite bows are ancient, and there are probably elven equivalents to these as well. Something that Vellum would be more familiar with. Jeez, that guy took so many arrows to take down, what the hell. But archery is a meditative process, and Vellum, while taking down all of the zombies around here, is trying to think about what the next steps are. It's likely that we are going to take some time to try and get better at the base skills that we need in this apocalypse. Fabrication, archery, cooking, which is going to be kind of just not that interesting to watch, so we are probably going to skip by a lot of it and just kind of let Vellum do his thing. It is satisfying, however, to be able to just confidently and almost brazenly walk out into the night here and just... Ooh, what happened over here? Clear out so many things. Are things falling into the pit that we made and then dying? Well, this was an accidental trap. And we were able to actually reach down and crush all of those corpses as well, which means that we cleared out any possibility that those things were going to rise up, like the old crater that we had at the the last base. Perhaps those pits are going to be a little bit better for us than I thought they were going to be. We might, if we see similar results in the future, and it wasn't just a fluke, we might actually look into... Go ahead and rest up, catch your breath. We might actually look into maybe creating a bit of a moat situation and surrounding parts of our base with these pits. Magically created pits. We do notice that as we're performing archery more and more often, it is becoming a lot less taxing on our stamina to aim up and fire. And other than the ones that we lost the other night, we haven't actually lost too many carbon fiber arrows. I do realize, though, that we actually left arrows back at the other base. So, among with some of the other stuff that we left there, we probably do want to go back at some point and retrieve what's remained of what we've gathered. A fairly terrifying proposition, and I would like to ideally be a little bit stronger before we do that. But I'm not sure in what ways we could even get stronger at this point, beyond maybe just practicing some archery and making sure that we are more skilled at our combat abilities. At some point, we're going to have to figure out something as far as armor as well. Currently, Vellum's just wearing what remains of his academy uniform and some snippets he's found along the way. Just some elbow pads, knee pads, and this assault pack does protect his back a little bit, and the ballistic vest sort of helps, but it's not a lot. It may stop a bullet, but it's not going to stop a zombie from ravaging him. Climb into the corpse of a car here, and then climb back out. Wow, we actually shot through the window of the car there. Interesting. I didn't know we could do that. Actually saw glass shatter out from the car. Well, we've cleared out everything in the immediate area. It is possible that we could go another kind of ring out and start taking out some of the stuff that's close by, because this stuff could easily wander over. We aren't pressured by any means right now, so there might be something we do. We did manage to get one arrow into this grabber zombie, but it immediately started chasing us, so not sure what this thing is capable of, but not liking the name. We're going to go ahead and just immediately back off here. It's getting really close really fast. Okay, it's down. Guess we're not going to find out today what this thing's capable of, and you know what? I'm fine with that. We have 11 arrows left. At least one of them seems to have maybe broken then. That is a fully healthy Aptosaurus zombie there. That thing is going to be pretty hard to take down. We're going to put a lot of arrows into this thing. We're actually going to back up a bit and rest real quick, and then... Oh, it actually got close enough to attack us. Oh my god. I didn't even realize it was that fast. But we are going to activate our extended stride here. Make sure that we can step farther and faster than this thing. Which will cost us a little bit of focus, but I think it's worth it in the end. Be nice if we could find something that gave us some... Oh, it got really close there. Be nice if we could find something that gave us some accuracy as well. Vellum definitely never imagined that in the apocalypse he would become a zombie. Oh my god, okay. That hurt. What even happened? As we shot that last shot, the dinosaur managed to swing its head wide out to us and smashed us, and we went flying dozens of feet through the air, landing in the river. And as we landed, it destroyed several things. It ripped our bow sling. We lost concentration on our powers. A lot of our medicine dissolved. It destroyed our smartphone and our e-ink tablets. Also losing a lot of the books that we had stored there, which is really good that we remember where those books were stored. And we lost a few items too. It says that as we hit the ground, something comes loose, is knocked away from you. So we are going to swim. There's not much choice that we can We need to swim our way out now. Looks like we have a crowbar that got knocked loose there. And we are quite winded after that. Okay. We are going to take this more seriously now. Put away our bow. And it looks like the Apatosaurus zombie bled out. Yeah. In its final moments, it dealt us a incredible blow, to be honest. Is there anything else we're missing? The map may tell me if I dropped things that were favorited. Doesn't seem like it, though. There's another one of those things over there as well. We are going to go ahead and... Yeah, we're pretty cold now because we're soaked from head to toe. We're going to use our magic now to try and finish off the rest of these things because, well, you know, we're taking it seriously now. I don't see anything in here immediately. Where is that Apatosaurus zombie? He is over there. Okay, we're going to take that out as well. They just have so much HP. I'll back off. No reason to be that close. We risked it before, and now we've learned our lesson. Oh man, there's so many up here. Jeez. This might be enough for today. We managed to get away with, looks like most of our arrows, question mark? Yeah, most of our arrows. And we did clear out quite a few of the zombies around here. I think it might be time to just call it for now. We do want to probably put up some more nail traps over here as well. Do we have what we need to make those? We need more nails. Well, fortunately, we actually brought back an absolute ton of nails. Yeah, we brought back 500 nails, which we still have like 2,000 back at the other place, but we'll go ahead and use our psychic abilities to light up the area around us and make another nail trap super fast. Go ahead and deploy that there, so if something does try and come and mess with us, and you want, yeah, let's go ahead and make another one. Go ahead and bandage our wounds, and it is daytime, so we are, after that shocking hit from the dinosaur, just taking us by surprise there, we are definitely going to take a moment and just trying to sit down and read and not endanger ourselves again so soon. We are finally skilled enough to be able to attach the bow scope to our modern recurve bow, which is just trying to make it a little bit more accurate, I believe. Yeah, it reduced the dispersion, I think. It's hard to say. I don't actually... If someone knows, you can leave a comment to let me know. But if someone knows what exactly the bow scope does for us, I can only imagine it's positive, but I'm not sure exactly what the full benefits there are. As we were practicing and as we were focusing, some new insight came to us, to one of our psychic powers, and after we meditated on it for a moment, we have now unlocked Chameleoflage. This is a awakened photokinetic power that allows us to blend the light reflecting from you and the light reflecting from nearby surfaces, and you make yourself much harder to spot from a distance. We're gonna go ahead and try that once, and see what that actually does. So we now have Chameleoflage, bending light to make yourself difficult to spot. I'm not exactly sure what that does, but perhaps it will reduce the distance that something can spot us out during the day. Considering how safe we are right now, Vellum is tempted to test this right away. We're going to step outside, and we see a zombie off in the distance. And at that range, that zombie would normally be able to see us. So we're going to get closer. Perhaps this would allow us to walk around during the day. Okay, so that's the range that they see us now. That's still a lot of range, to be honest. So maybe this is something that we have to get better at before it starts being really useful. It is another concentration ability, which we already have a lot of concentration abilities, so it's going to be very difficult for us to maintain concentration on so many different things, but it is something worth considering. We also have the ability to learn another psychic photokinetic ability, which, again, I don't see any harm in at least adding all of these to our roster of abilities, because perhaps they will come up later. Something called Blackout. Vellum is going to sit down and try and learn that one, at least until his strange bedtime of 12 o'clock in the afternoon comes around. And it does look like we were not able to learn it in time to go to bed. We do want to try and keep our schedule as much as possible so that we can get up at night and do useful things. His usual routine stays, pops in earplugs, and falls asleep. As we awake, we realize that smartphone was the only thing keeping our vitamin and calorie intake accurate. So we are going to want to, as we're killing more zombies, kind of keep an eye on trying to find more of that. As I don't want to sit here and just waste away my nights not doing anything at all, daytime is the better time for research. We are going to venture out today. Vellum would like to find some more medicine, just to have a stockpile going, and some more food, which does mean going out into the apocalypse. But before I do that, I kind of do want to burn some of my mana, now that I think about it. And what we're going to do is we're going to step right over here, and we're going to make 2 more pits. We'll go ahead and get everything out of the way there. And then we are going to cast Hardened Earth again. No, not Hardened Earth. Smooth Earth, which is sort of a hard ability to cast, apparently. And we are going to create another pit here. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Keeping in mind that we do actually need a place to step, actually. We're going to put a plank here. That's interesting. So what we could do is we could put a plank there and then remove it whenever we need to come across. And that makes this almost completely safe. Interesting. It makes it take a few extra steps, but it makes it almost completely safe. Let's do another pit. Casting the spell, which is actually starting to become much easier to cast over time. We do actually have created a bit of like a deep pit on either side with a bridge across the center here. One thing we might be able to do in the future is move these spiked boards farther out and then maybe make a pit right here at the entrance that we put a board over and sort of have a bit of a drawbridge upon entering this place. So we're going to put a plank over there and we'll move it. That'll be a habit we'll have to get into, but it's a habit for our safety. Oh yeah, look at this. These pits are just attracting zombies for some reason, and then they're just falling in and immediately dying. We don't see any living zombies down there, but there is a concern of mine that we are going to create areas where there are living zombies. If we have enough mana, we're going to go ahead and start some pits over here, but we'll probably run out of mana in the process of doing this. We actually didn't. Okay. We have another pit over here, and we're finally out of mana. Okay. But the shallow pit just slows people down. We can actually move through it ourselves, so we don't need to put a board across that. Being completely out of mana does mean that we're kind of out of options. We're going to come back here and see if we have any mana potions super quick. We do have like 5, so we're going to take one of them. We will go ahead and head outdoors. While we're outside, we'll go ahead and leave that plank over top that pit, just because the zombies probably aren't going to be smart enough to walk across it themselves. With all of the other options, zombies do tend to kind of shamble around and slip and fall all the time. But it does mean that we'll be able to rush home. Oh, Jesus. If something like this happens, and there is just suddenly a Sahara Zoras zombie, we are going to make a run for it here and pull out our bow. It being down this hallway here doesn't do us a lot of good. Honestly, Vellum's incredibly surprised that it can even fit in this alleyway. I don't like this situation. It could be just right around that corner. Okay, we're going to back up and catch our breath. I don't like this at all. Yep. It's just gonna... We need to close off this direction. That's what we need to do. It's bleeding, but it's nowhere near being close to dead. I don't think we can make a shot on it like that. We almost need it to be closer in here. There we go. Don't make the mistake of last time of committing to an amount of aim that we don't know if it's going to be able to get to us in time. So we're going to be much more careful about our aiming on this creature than we were on its cousin, as it was. Despite these being good hits, sinking one arrow into it after another into the hide of this dinosaur. It is, after all, a dinosaur. And we are struggling to take it down with just conventional arrows. It does seem to be bleeding badly now, but I don't want to give it any chance. Possibly we're out of arrows. Well, that's not fantastic. We put all of our arrows into it. Well, time for a magic missile. And that's all it took. Oh, we crush it. Get all of our arrows back and take a deep breath. That could have been bad. We need to do something about this direction. Do we have the mana for some more smooth earth? We sort of do. Why is it? That's interesting. It's larger now. I actually don't like that. I want it to be smaller. Can we not cast it larger? Oh man, as we're leveling it up, it's actually becoming much, much larger and harder to control. Like, that's awesome that we can make such a large pit, but at the same time, we don't want to. We're going to go ahead and stop casting that for now. We're going to cast Nature's Bow, summon a bow instead of using our current one. We are sort of running out of arrows here. One thing that is an option that I just considered is that we do actually have this other spell. We don't have the mana for it right now, but Harvest of the Hunter, which if we can get some sticks, yeah, if we just get some sticks, we can create twisted wooden arrows. It seems like they do have a duration to them, but they might be worth our time anyways. Here's another smartphone, but its battery's almost already dead, not worth grabbing. We do want to try and see if we can find a smartphone. We also want to get into this building over here. Another book for us. Reminding us that once again, we do need to go back for the books that we lost by getting chucked into the fucking river. It's a scary affair and a humbling reminder that the dinosaurs, even being zombies, are not worth trifling with. Oh, here we go. We actually have quite a bit of canned food here, which is exactly what we want to see. Food that will last as long as we need it to. A lot of the other food here is already rotten or even just gone. There is some fresh veggies here. It's kind of interesting. You know, having not seen fresh food in a little while, Valem's already going to just, you know, scarf down the broccoli and the orange. Being an elf from the forest, he is more than used to fresh food eaten immediately and sort of misses it dearly. Not seeing much else great here. Bunch of candied drinks that do not appeal to his diet whatsoever. The processed foods of the modern human will honestly make him sick. Oh, interesting. There's just like a whole bunch of backpacks. A fencing epee. Been used for fencing in most noble sports. Is not designed for combat. It is the heaviest and stiffest of the fencing weapons and therefore still useful in your situation. Yeah, it's not the greatest weapon, is it? Are there any recipes related to that? We could sharpen it, and if we did that, we would actually make a rather interesting piercing sword. It's an idea. We'll go ahead and take the epee with us, just because that might be something that we do in order to have sort of a temporary sword. There is another MP3 player in here. I don't know if we've ruined ours, so we're going to go ahead and take that. And a gasoline with a whole bunch of, or a gas can with a whole bunch of kerosene in it. Brooklyn Survivors map. Okay. We also have a large tent. That tent is kind of interesting because it would allow us to... Oh, okay. We immediately open a door to find a gigantic, a mutant aggressive cockroach the size of a small dog. And as soon as we opened the door, it managed to get a biting attack off on our torso. We're gonna go ahead and back up immediately, pull out our bayonets, and see about trying to take this thing down. It is moving around like crazy though, but we do finally manage to get 2 solid hits off of it, which is all it takes. We'll put away the bayonet and kind of just hold pressure on the wound until it stops bleeding there. We're going to go ahead and bandage ourselves ahead of time, just with some very quick adhesive bandages, just so that our wounds are covered. And we'll pull out the bayonet again to have it at the ready this time. Not realizing that there could be giant mutant freaking cockroaches down here. We lost a lot of our pain meds and such, so we're going to go ahead and take all of that with us as well. Sort of just exploring this place. A collapsible mop. With Phelim's interest in being clean, it's actually a very high value item to him to just find a mop that he'll be able to take back to his wizard tower, as it were. There's an electric lantern in here and a leather backpack. Oh, it's a leather backpack. Hold on. We have value to that, because if we take apart this leather backpack, we'll be able to actually get some leather strips. And we were wanting leather strips in order to make a staff. We need to keep an eye out for leather items like this. Not sure if we had kept these books after our recent loss. We're going to go ahead and take these books with us as well. Anything else interesting in here? I'm not sure. Oh man, this place is like crazy. Knife anatomy, Brooklyn tourist guide, some clean water. People will store all sorts of strange things down here. Is that another leather backpack? It is. We'll probably be able to get all the leather we need, at least for the time being, out of this. And then we have a Brooklyn road map here and some thread. All useful. We did see another staircase leading up over here. And it just looks like it leads up to this top floor. Nothing terribly interesting over here. Again, keeping an eye out for anything leather. We don't care about the noise that prying open doors makes right now, because there isn't much left around us. We already kind of cleared out a lot of things. Leather bikini top. It is made out of leather. Not much in there. Oh, here we go. Some cookbooks. Honestly, not that bad. And some sealed food. Perfect. Despite the terror of having faced off against a dinosaur and almost taking some grim consequences for it, this has sort of turned out to be a pretty good day, managing to get a lot of what we actually need to continue survival. We don't have a sustainable food source by any means, but we do have so much near us in this city of canned food and bottled food that we probably won't even have to worry about a sustainable food source for weeks to possibly even months to come, which gives us more than enough time to just figure out our situation and become stable. Stability is something that Phelim woefully desires right now. Ooh, some duct tape. Duct tape has a billion uses. We're going to go ahead and take that with us. It seems like this building is a bit of like a mega structure. So Phelim is going to look through it, and just as I was about to go away and start looking through this on my own, we immediately see a zombie. We are going to put away the knife, pull out our bow, take a few steps back, and kind of just soften it down before we try and go at it with our knife. Let it come to us first. I believe in you. Come on. One more step. Maybe we let it get a little bit too close there. Hit out our knife. This will be quiet as well. We managed to get a claw off on us, but we took it down very quickly. Take our arrows back. Those summoned arrows that will be useful. But yeah, we will be back if anything interesting happens. Phelim came away with quite a lot from clearing out that place, and he didn't even manage to clear out all of it. We got a lot of food, we got a lot of medicine, and we got a lot of like maps and tourist guides and some books that we can look into. Already, we're going to go ahead and pull that in just because we're probably not going to head back out tonight. But we're going to go through all of our stuff, sort out what we can, just kind of drop everything into our growing junk pile here, which is probably setting off Phelim's OCD just a little bit, knowing that this is just a mess of items with absolutely no organization. But one of the issues that we're having right now is that there isn't really any room to organize here. And Phelim's been thinking about moving up farther into the tower and trying to find a solution for these open windows here. If I were able to cover them somehow and block them, then we wouldn't have to worry about something seeing us while we're up here. Alternatively, we could move into the basement, which is going to be much colder, but is still quite livable. You have this large space over here, which has a door preventing us from, immediately being onset by stuff. And there's already shelves here where we can sort things. Honestly, this is seeming like a good option. We could probably put the fire here right between these two counters, and it would be on a concrete floor, so it wouldn't be in any danger. We might actually do that, is move downstairs. And then whenever we need to go to sleep, we'll just come back up here to sleep in the comfort of this bed. Because there isn't any beds down here. The closest we have is it's a couch, and when there's a bed so close by, sleeping on a couch just doesn't do it for us. But we're going to sort everything out and possibly move downstairs. We'll be back. Having a quick look through all the books we just got, we still haven't found anything that's going to help with our fabrication. We did have a pretty hefty survival book back at the old house, and I think we might have had a fabrication book back there as well. So the idea of going back for our other lost books is on our mind, but we're not likely to do that tonight. We need to do that in a fresh night with full mana. And after thinking about it for a while, Vellum is going to move downstairs just so that we can have enough room to spread out and like actually have things organized and kind of start living like a real person again, not just shoved all into a corner like this. Okay, that actually took an absolutely ridiculously long period of time. However, we now have a crafting area down here. We have all of our food and water in here, a bunch of containers over here, basically everything we've ever collected as far as scrap parts over there, which doesn't feel like as many as I thought it was going to be. I think a lot of our alchemical components, because they also count as food, ended up inside our fridge here. Yeah, they did. We have all of our tools on this bench over here, a lot of clothing and armor that we're going to be deconstructing. Every book Vellum has ever collected and map he's ever collected over here, all of our weapons, and then we have some currency over here and some drugs. We did kind of put down all of our drugs that we didn't need anymore, because we don't need to be carrying that many on us, but we are carrying a lot of all of the basics on us still. And this gives us a place where we can kind of craft freely. We're going to go ahead and better bandage these wounds to make sure that they heal a little bit faster. This will give us a place where we can craft freely, and we stand in the center here because of the range that this game gives you on crafting. We should be able to access everything in here to craft with all at once, and get a very good idea of what we can and can't do. The other thing that is beneficial to being down here is that we can come down here and we can practice a more advanced form of athletics, eventually learning the proficiency of athlete's form, which if we come over to our proficiencies, the athlete's form expert will make it a lot more experience in movements using drawing and oh, but that's archer's form. Oops. Athlete's form will be just a general increase in fitness and also making it easier to operate muscle-powered vehicles like a bicycle. Archer's form is the other thing that we're practicing right now, which will make it a lot easier to draw and fire bows quickly and easier. The only thing we haven't really handled is a place to put all of the corpses that we're generating. It's possible that we grab all the corpses and throw them into one of the pits outside, but it's not going to be easy to shove them into the pit because we're not very strong, and I don't think we can just chuck corpses like that. I don't think that actually works. I don't know how to drag something then throw it. It may have been a bit more of a quiet episode, but we are going to have to leave you here. Vellum has cleared the nearby surroundings, and this has been our kind of base build-up episode 2. In the background, I actually played for a couple hours trying to get everything settled here, and I was just showing you the bare minimum of this so that you could keep track of what's happening. In the future, we are going to be trying to search the nearby places for some extra tools we need in order to do some of our magical crafting and hopefully get towards making some of the more interesting magic items so that we can move forward. We already have everything we need to make the Minor Staff the Magi, except for we need to be able to get this mana dust, so we need a mortar and pestle. Shouldn't be that hard to find. Hopefully we can find one nearby. But as it stands, this has been Cataclysm, and I have been Areima. If you have been enjoying the series thus far, please feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I've been enjoying making these tremendously, and people seem to be enjoying them as well, so I plan on continuing to make them in the future. When we first started, I only promised myself 10 episodes, and then I would see how things are going. As this is episode 9, and it is going fantastically, I plan to definitely make more of these in the future. And we'll probably make some sort of recap episode coming up soon in case anyone wants to get caught up to what's going on as we move into a further chapter, as it were, and a new chapter in Vellum's life. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the show, and goodbye.